Do it.
What up, DJ Vin Rock? Shortcut.
DJ Apollo here.
And you are watching the Scratch DJ Academy live from New York City. Boom!
I got my start in the mobile disc jockey movement back in the Bay Area in the 80s. And so back in the Bay, instead of gangs, we had a DJ crew on every block. Like a bunch of our friends would get together and just gather up all our parents' equipment basically and just collect all kinds of equipment, and we would just start doing gigs. Weddings, birthdays, high school parties, garage parties, and that's pretty much how we started. Back then, we really used mixing as a foundation, which is, just basically mixing one beat to another, maybe playing an instrumental and rocking an a cappella over it. Later on, the turntable and scratching came, but yeah, that was basically my foundation, how I got into it. And later on, of course, we did the whole turntable thing and elevated to scratching and juggling and doing turntable stuff. Turntablism, that's the term came out later on.
My start is pretty much watching like his crew. Like I was like the 13-year-old, 12-year-old at the garage parties looking at these, basically the mobile sound systems in the Bay Area was little rock concerts inside of garages. And I would see that going to a family party, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing? You know what I mean? And no one's playing an instrument, but just DJing and playing like just the hottest stuff and making people dance at the parties, and that's what got me into it. So at my 12th birthday party, or when I turned 12, bought my first belt-driven turntable and like a real
Radio Shack.
Yeah, real cheap mixer, and I brought it on the bus. By myself, you know what I mean?
Right.
And just got into it that way.
What do you think about when you approach the turntables and you create rhythms on the turntables?
When I'm playing off of what Short was doing,
yeah.
I just feel like that should go right there just for a little bit, and then I'm gonna slide.
And how about the execution? Like when you're actually doing your scratches rhythmically, what are you thinking about?
I mean, I'm if I'm listening to it, I'm just like, hey. All the JB accents, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's when you approach scratching, think of it as you expressing yourself through an instrument. Don't look at the turntable as just a mechanism to play music. You gotta learn the rules and then break them. Experiment, do stuff.
A lot of things come by accident too. Like you said, that you stumble upon something, and a lot of tricks and a lot of stuff comes by accident. So never rule that out. Yeah, always explore and experiment. That's the only way you'll come up with new stuff. Like we all pretty much came from the battle scene, and people know that we came from the battle scene. So people knew us for doing turntable tricks, scratching, and juggling, and all the turntable stuff. But what we wanted to do actually was bring more DJing into the scene.
I think you were already doing that.
I was. We wanted to bring it to the world though.
Oh yeah, and bring that out to the world.
Right. So that's pretty much why Triple Threat is kind of like a basketball analogy. You can drive, you can shoot to the hoop, you can shoot 3-pointers. It's just kind of like this. We can scratch, the selection. We can rock parties, producing and being well-rounded as a DJ. That's pretty much why Triple Threat was formed. And at that time, we were kind of getting not sick of the turntable scene, but we just wanted to create a balance. And just keep it open to the DJs to DJ and rock parties and have selection and know the music of the history of the music and so forth. Because then it was just a whole bunch of turntables just scratching.
Yeah, and the culture now, you have DJs who do this kind of thing and DJs who do that kind of thing, and sometimes they don't talk to each other. But we liked all of them. We had friends over here who was on the radio and playing all of these records. I'm like, oh, that's a cool record. And we had these guys who were practicing flares, and I'm like, oh, why don't you flare with this record that we're hearing on the radio? You know what I mean? And they're like, that record lag. And I'm like, and the radio guy's like, I don't know what time to learn the flare. And I'm like, no, you should put it together. And also around that time, we were kind of I hate to say, we were kind of looked down upon a little bit because, we formed this at the height of the turntable scene. So it's like, what are you guys trying to do? What are you guys trying to be Funkmaster Flex on the radio or something like that? Like, no, I don't mean like this.
just DJing. I mean, you know, we all play, like, you know, especially coming from the sound system scenes where we had to learn to play everything at any party, at any given time, at any, you know what I mean? So whether it be like, you know, soul, house, reggae, whatever, that was our mentality. Our sets, when we go perform together, we do like 2-3 hour sets of just rocking everything, playing hip hop, of course, as our foundation, but playing everything else. A lot of reggae, a lot of house, whatever. Funk. Yeah, months ago. Exactly. You'll always be a student. You'll never stop being a student. We're still students too. Anything that we're playing, music-wise, we're learning about new stuff, old stuff, and just always keep that mentality. I think just to, you know, it's important to just always stay a student of what you're doing, because as you learn that, you know, as you go, that makes you better.
And selection is really kind of representative of who you are musically and taste-wise.
Shortcut on the right is doing is called turntable drumming.
What you're learning here
Basically,
really
you
is
take a
kind of
snare and a
like a
kick,
toolkit.
and on
It's
one
almost like,
turntable
you
create your
know, Rob
own drum pattern.
and everyone here and all the instructors are giving you paints and paintbrushes and teaching you techniques and all of that. But it's up to you as an artist to paint it the way you want to see it. You know,
Got Vin
so
Rock adding background vocals.
and to talk on what Short's saying, you'll never stop. There's never a ceiling to that, because you're always going to be inspired to learn something new or do something different. So just you know, keep in mind everything you're learning here and just apply it to any
Make
record
some
that you
noise
got
for
out there,
Triple
and
Threat, y'all.
it'll be magic.
Practice, 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 practice.
You gotta think how many years these guys put into this before they were
Turn
Vin
yourself
Rock,
up, Vin Rock.
Shortcut, and Apollo. And now after the Vin Rock, Shortcut, and Apollo, the Triple Threat DJs, they still practice, they still apply themselves, they still are students of the art form. So, you know, on that note, I want to thank you guys for coming out. Round of applause for the Triple Threat DJs. And to the students, thank you for coming. I appreciate you guys coming through and supporting today. All right? Peace out.
It's called Playing It Off, right, Apollo?